Welcome back everyone. I kind of wanted to talk about iOS versions that came out before and see how they hold up in 2021. Now I've already done a couple of these videos with like iOS 7 and iOS 5 I think back in the day, but now I want to talk about, iOS 13, a newer version of software that was still technically supported up until last year, and this was a pretty big update. I essentially covered every single iteration of this software, even when it was in a beta form, on almost every single iPhone that was supported. So if you guys remember that run, that was pretty fun. I had a great time doing that. And iOS 14 was an even better run, and I think iOS 15 is probably going to be the worst run of all time, probably comparable to like iOS 11 or something. But iOS 13 was a pretty big update. It wasn't a crazy humongous one, but this was technically the last time we got a drop support from one iOS version to the other. From iOS 12 to 13, we actually lost support for the iPhone 5S and the iPhone 6. Even though technically iOS 12 is still getting support, which is crazy, iOS 13 was a pretty impressive update at that. The base minimum qualifications for an iOS 13 update was 2 gigs of RAM, so not only did a lot of iPhones come out, but also a lot of iPads got drop support too, so that was another pretty big thing. Now on top of that, iOS 13 was the supported software during the beginning of the pandemic. So last year, when everything started kind of, popping up, Apple kind of took initiative and they went ahead and did those, security things. They did the exposure notifications and all those different things that came out with it. So later on, there were also additions being added, which was pretty cool, seeing real-time things, having real-time updates, which was pretty impressive. Apple very rarely ever does that unless there's a big exploit or a big problem. Other than that, Apple, even with their iPhone hardware, prolongs updates for so long, and it's very annoying. Now on top of that, iOS 13 did actually bring a dark mode, which was pretty cool. We all kind of wanted that for a long time, and we eventually did actually get that with this specific update, which was really awesome. There were some privacy features as well, and Siri got a little bit of an update as well, which was also pretty cool. So it sounded a little bit more natural, which I don't really think a lot of people care about too much, but we did actually get that. Now, one of my favorite things that this specific update actually did bring was the new system-wide gesture interface. So you can now, if you triple click or just, hold 3 fingers and click on the display, you can actually get into this interface where you can copy, paste, or cut your specific text on your display. Now, I do this all the time, to be completely honest, and I always forget that it actually came with iOS 13, which was actually pretty cool. Now, this update also brought the sign in with Apple little integration. So a lot of people didn't like that. I was kind of like indifferent about it. I mean, I thought it was pretty cool, but it seems like it was kind of a hassle for a lot of developers to bring that specific thing in. So that was kind of like another thing. There was also this new battery lifespan extender, which was essentially that feature where iOS 13 would not allow your iPhone to, fast charge over 80% if you enabled it. I think there was a way you can go ahead and disable that in the settings, but essentially it would fast charge up to 80% and then trickle charge up to 100%. Now this was supposed to, help your battery health and all that. On my 12 Pro, it's not really, it's like 87% now, which is crazy. But those were some pretty big updates there. Now, messages also got a little bit of an update as well. Memojis, Animojis, all those different things, which is pretty cool. The maps got an update, reminders got an update, and photos got an update as well. Now, overall, I think iOS 13 is going to be known as a fairly minimal update, very similar to iOS 12, although I think iOS 12 was a pretty big update too. They brought a lot of cool things with iOS 12. But with iOS 13, I think it was a pretty decent update. It definitely wasn't, iOS 14 level, but the things that it brought, dark mode was pretty cool. I think that was the biggest thing that they brought at the time that a lot of people wanted, and I'm glad they still kept that and didn't drop support on that. But that was really pretty much it. I mean, there wasn't really a whole lot going on with that. Even with those iteration updates, 13.1, 13.1.2, and all those different updates, it just seemed like they were just kind of fixing a lot of problems, which is what an update, does. They didn't really bring any crazy features besides those exposure notifications. But like I mentioned, iOS 13 was that update that we pretty much had early on in the pandemic. We got iOS 14 betas, and now we're at iOS 15. So I think 13 was cool, but I'm really hoping for a little bit more. I think iOS 14 was one of the biggest updates we've gotten since iOS 7, and I'm really happy Apple pushed it out. I think it goes iOS 7, iOS 11, and then iOS 14 as, some of the bigger updates. So that's pretty much it. A quick little updated review. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.